remain standing while I call for the opening prayer. Chaplain.
Let us pray. On this day of celebration, we give thanks to God for the rich inheritance we have received in this university. For the insight and imagination of others, we give thanks. And especially for the support of family and friends who have encouraged us to achieve our goals. Bless all our graduates as they journey forth from here to their different places and countries of work. May they use their gifts to promote greater understanding of the world, its history and development, and for the greater use of all its resources. Guide those who will use their creative skills and artistic talents to interpret the form and beauty of the world around them as they design and build for future generations. For all our graduates, we give thanks. May they find great happiness in all that they do, and may the world be enriched by their learning. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Please be seated. As Principal and Vice-Chancellor of the University, it's a great honour and a real privilege to welcome you here to this afternoon's graduation ceremony. Now, graduation is, in essence, a formal occasion, and we respect its traditions. But it's also a time of great celebration and a time of joy. So please ensure that you enthusiastically support those graduands and then graduates who cross this stage during the course of the ceremony, and ensure you all enjoy the experience as much as possible. And to get things started, I call upon the Vice Principal, Wendy Alexander, to address the Assembly.
Vice-Chancellor, Bailey Roberts, graduands, honorary graduand, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Can I also add my welcome to you to this graduation ceremony in this, our 50th year. Now, this speech, which opens graduation, is traditionally one of the most solemn parts of a graduation ceremony. Graduation ceremonies the world over typically begin with a speech. If you're lucky, it's not a full-blown lecture, just a short speech that celebrates the university itself before we get down to the real business today of celebrating you, our graduates. I hope much of what I'm about to say is familiar to those of you who are graduating today and resonates with your experience with us here. Because the purpose of these few remarks are to share with family and friends gathered today a window on the university itself. What we are like as a place of learning, a flavour of who we are and what we're about in these rather turbulent times. So, 2017, our 50th year, has been a time for the university to reflect on our achievements and also to look forward to the future. It's rather like graduates yourselves. You find yourselves in a position where your university days from today are now behind you and you're anticipating what lies ahead. So we have been reflecting on our 50 years as an independent university. We've had to make our mark rather quickly, and we have done so. The Times Higher Education ranks us as the best university in the UK for young universities, universities under 50 years of age. And not only do they rank us as the best in the UK for young universities, but in the world's top 20 universities under 50 years of age. I think this is probably good news for parents in the hall who think that being 50 can still be regarded as being young. But amongst all universities, young, old, global, ancient, Dundee is also ranked as one of the world's top 200 universities. The principal, I, and many colleagues who are here today have recently returned from China, and you see for yourself the scale of the investment that is being made in higher education and in research. And you realize what an achievement and what a responsibility it is to be ranked as one of the world's top 200 universities. We operate here in a challenging landscape. How do we fund our students? How do we attract the brightest and best from around the world? How do we maintain free movement for staff to and from Europe? Our strategy for success is simple. Be excellent in all that we do. And today is about celebrating your effort, your achievement, combined with our commitment to excellence. We hope that during your time at Dundee, you have witnessed excellence. We are committed at Dundee to putting our students at the heart of all that we do. And so earlier this year, we were delighted to be awarded gold in the first ever UK-wide national assessment of teaching, the Teaching Excellence Framework. And that commitment to putting students at the heart of the university isn't simply rhetoric reserved for occasions like this, but the reality of how we operate. Students are represented on all the key decision-making committees, they have a key voice in all senior appointments, and they are at the heart of steering the university's direction. And this commitment to the student voice is one of the things that makes Dundee special. And we hope that as alumni, it means you will look back fondly at the time that you spent here. The University of Dundee is in many ways truly extraordinary. From this small dot on the east coast of Scotland, a fairly small university amongst the global giants, we have done remarkable things. Over the past 50 years, we have pioneered many innovations that have been runaway successes globally. Flat screen technology, which is now standard on every new TV set. Keyhole surgery, which halves the recovery time and reduces the risk of infection for patients going through surgery. Many of the satellites and shuttles that are launched into orbit, into space, have circuitry that's been designed here in Dundee. Our biomedical and drug discovery work underpins global efforts to tackle cancer, diabetes, and tropical diseases like malaria that kill literally millions every year. And we've become one of the world's leading centres for forensic science research. And yet, despite all of that, it is you, our graduates, who continue to be our proudest boast. From captains of industry, activists for social change, leaders in healthcare, to Turner Prize winners, our alumni are transforming the world. And in just the last 5 years of our 50 years, the time that you have been students here, we have risen dramatically in the league tables. We have pushed into the top 10 for graduate employment, which hopefully will be good news for all of you graduating today. And we have led the way in Scotland in widening access to higher education to those who previously thought that higher education was closed to them. We are increasingly a global university and community. We are quite literally bringing the world to Dundee. We have students and staff from 140 countries around the world, and a very large number of them are represented in the hall this afternoon. So we are more international as an institution than we've ever been, and that enriches our community, our culture, and our city. The university is at the heart of the new developments which are changing the city, and many of you arriving today will have seen the V&A Museum of Design rising on the banks of the Tay. It's a project that originated here in the university. So in all this activity and energy and achievement, our central mission remains unchanged: to transform lives locally and globally through the creation, sharing, and application of knowledge. So if all of this has been achieved over the last 50 years, Imagine what can be achieved in the next 50 years. That will be the time when you make your way in the world. And to sum up, we in the university hope that today is not simply a day of celebration, but also a day of reflection for you personally. A chance to look back with fondness for the time that you spent here, but also to look forward to your own life's journey. And we hope that in 30 or even 50 years, people here on this platform will be talking about your achievements, and that all of you will return to Dundee as alumni to reminisce about your time spent at the university. So as you cross the stage today to receive your degree, and then to step out into the world as a graduate and as an ambassador for the university, the whole university community gathered here today wish you the very best for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy, for getting us off to an inspiring start this afternoon. I call upon the Dean of the School of Art and Design, Professor Paul Harris.
Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Hannah McGowan. For the degree of Bachelor of Design, Rebecca Graham. For the degree of Master of Design, Susanna Dominiak. James O'Reilly. Catherine Quinn. Gary Welsh. For the degree of Master of Fine Art, Helen Angel Priest. Yacinda Chan. Astrid Leeson. Jacqueline Mao. Kate Newton. Louise Cartwright. Josh Kavanagh. Gemma Connell. Christina Conte. Lindsay Gibb. Helen King. Callum Mackey. David McCulloch. Karen Marie McKellar. Lisa Olsen. Benjamin Owens. For the degree of Master of Science, Murray Kerr. Calvin Maguire. Andrea McSwan. Katie Brown. Jonathan Christie. Ryan Hutchian. Philip Schoenfisch. Jane Smith. Nico Talplacido. Shoan Wang. Yakson Jia. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present, for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, David Lyons.
Thank you, Paul. I call upon the Dean of the School of Humanities, Professor James Livesey.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present, for the degree of Master of Arts with Honours, Christy Mills. For the postgraduate certificate in comics and graphic novels, Emmanuel, who has not turned up. No, and we're dead, sorry. Okay. The postgraduate certificate in family and local history, Geraldine O'Driscoll. For the postgraduate diploma in archives and records management, Emma Penman. For the postgraduate diploma in records management and information rights, Leslie Gold. For the degree of Master of Letters, Michael Greet. Georgia Rogers. Haley Austin. Monica Burns. Vedis Holdudotter. Lori Dower. Peter Fullilove. Lucia Gerritsen. Jasmine Keel. Sharon Kirk. Joanna Ruddock. Evie Dillon Riley. Cara Fraser. Fanny Pellet. Andrew Seeger. David Swanson. Georgia Granger. Craig McCluskey. Rachel Graham. Ariana Bryn. Holly Kirkham. Samuel Turner. Joanne Hasty. Poppy Jarrett. Kirsty MacDonald. Kirsty McKay. Matthew Richardson. And Cameron Twiddy.
Thank you, Professor Livesey. I call upon the Dean of the School of Social Sciences, Professor John Rowan.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the degree of Bachelor of Laws with honours, Matthew Breen. For the degree of Bachelor of Science with honours, Shanice Sharp. For the degree of Bachelor of Science, Madeline Joanne. Valentina de la Rios. Shafa Ahmed. Mengwan Lee. Melike Ezakova. For the degree of Master of Finance, Jacob Nama. For the degree of Master of Laws, Orana Capra. Bella Uspanov. Sidra Amin. Winnie Anyango. Uluwatu Misin Adayo. Dennis Asare. Catherine Ogonchola. Eseri Olan Rewaja. Stephen Wicks. Julio Duran. Bingo Tan. Esther Chemuni. Dmitry Marenkov. Jacqueline Terrell Takiri. Ayan Bayar. Veronica Briqueno. Charity Mayana. Grace Nasamu. Martin Umar. Asiata Sambu. Seram Dzienke. And, okay. So, Seram Dzienke. Well done. Craig Kennedy. For the degree of Master of Science, Haye Chen. Benji Lee. Oh, sorry, I'm so sorry. It's Dixon Cheng. Benji Lee. Adil Yasan. Xu Zhang. T. Bu. Kachai Chen. Zhebeng Chen. Ayulan Li. Jingyi Li. Mengje Li. Wen Ling. Ki Kao. Huang Lin Ying. Zhang Li Lin. Shenghang Yu. Callum Davidson. Walid Fakuri. Christos Karpousas. Eleanor Ramsey. April Victoria. Evan Zazani. Anjali Potaram. Jamil Hijazi. Annie Hugahama. Shang Sheng Weng. Yi Li. Zhao Zhang. Yao Kui Liang. Jing Hu. Olusakin Bright. Lulu Bu. Xu Zhao. Xing Yi Hu. Sili Liao. Chloe Margosayan. Michael Megore. Jeffrey Unyone. Su Chi Wang. Hong Wang Chi. Urim Yang. Xiao Xiao Yang. Swangqi Zhang. Yirong Zhang. Zili Kao. Mei-Ling Li. Eduardo Messani. Well done. Miriam Adur. Well done. Li Jiang Wang. Aman Ashraf. Ji Feng. Yu Zhu. Qingyu Chang. Sutathini Kawani. Kanawanaji. Well done. Li Hong Tang. Elorm Abdeledu. Korkur Adrololo. Mohammed Javed. Sapora Karangi. Selma Manar. Faye Nzoika. Joseph Royce. Ross Brownlee. Sarah Hamilton. Thomas Merritt. Caroline Mitchell. Undram Munkbat. Blazuk Angku An. Zhao Shu Song. Yiting Song. Konying Yang. Han Yang. Lucy Kate Sinclair. Mustafa Ozkan. Min Gao. Hobin Hu. Simav Ibrahim. Mengru Lin. Ip Lu. Gana Morganova. Konstantinos Potapsopoulos. Well done. Yang Sun. Xing Wang Chiu. David Hutchison. Wei Chi Chen. Shamsa Robari. Chi Gang Gao. Saida Ebeden. Teyab Butt. Debbie Gray. Petra Lipnick. Sarah Patton. Amy Towns. Michael Young. Rebecca Gerard. Alexa Martin. Caitlin Murray. Samuel Sims. Courtney Ehrlich. Jan Andre Mai. Patrick Mason. Fiona Ross. Congratulations. Vice-Chancellor, I've got the honour to present for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Sami Al-Yemi. Well done, Sami. Salem Al-Sheri. Nathaniel Babajidi. Fatima Bello. Abdul Kamara. Christopher Lyon. Nicolau Nikolakakis. Ronald Skia. And Ikram Yakubov. Well done.
And it really is great to see so many PhDs coming across the stage this afternoon. And I also sense there was a lot of joy out there, so well done to all of you. Can I ask for a round of applause for our three deans who spoke so well just now? Thank you. I call upon Vice Principal Wendy Alexander.
Vice-Chancellor, I have the honour to invite you to confer their degrees in absence upon the candidates who have been unable to attend this ceremony.
By the authority of the Senate, I confer these degrees.
New graduates, because that is what you now are, there is one piece of business before we come to the honorary graduate. So far, we've celebrated each of you individually, crossing the stage with a usually polite clap. Yet, as we all know, university is about making friends, very often friends for life, and being part of a community. Above all, it's a collective experience. So in a moment, we're going to have one final celebration of everyone graduating today. In a moment, I'm going to invite you to make as much noise as you humanly can, stamping, clapping, whooping, whistling, all required, to celebrate you collectively becoming the class of 2017. And I have one final challenge before we come to that. This morning's new graduates thought that they would be louder than any other graduation this year. So I invite you to prove them wrong by raising the roof. So, to the new class of 2017, congratulations, good luck, Let's celebrate.
I was about to say it was a draw, but I think maybe you just won. Thank you, well done. I call upon Professor Elaine Schmilt to present the honorary graduate for the degree of Doctor of Laws.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Frederick Paulson. As we grow older, it is less likely to be the things that we have done in life that we regret. If anything, it's the things that we have not done. Few people can have achieved as much as Frederick Paulson. Frederick is the chairman of Ferring Pharmaceuticals, a research-driven biopharmaceutical company operating from nearly 60 countries and employing over 6,000 people throughout the world. He is an academic, a philanthropist, and an explorer. As one of the few people to have stood on all 8 of the Earth's poles, Frederick has a deep historical and scientific interest in polar exploration. And in 2015, he was a founding member of the Swiss Polar Institute. Frederick undertook the first flight in an ultralight across the Bering Strait from Alaska to Russia, and the first high-latitude Arctic deep-water expedition, a sea dive to 14,000 feet that used submersibles to descend to the seabed at the North Pole. Frederick was born in Stockholm, Sweden. He speaks English, Swedish, German, and French fluently. He studied chemistry at the Christian Albrechts University in Germany and business administration at Lund University in Sweden. His worldwide philanthropic interests in the areas of culture, science, and education range from the islands of South Georgia to Russia, Western Europe, the United States of America, and to the Kingdom of Bhutan. He is the recipient of numerous national honors. He is a Knight of the Legion of Honor in the French Republic, and most recently, in February 2016, he was awarded an OBE. In addition, he has some of the highest decorations from Denmark, Germany, Georgia, Russia, and Bhutan. About 2 years ago, I received a parcel inside which contained a book called A Passion for Peptides. I read a remarkable story describing how a philosophy based upon respect for others can be instrumental in the growth of a product, of a company, and most importantly, improvements for patients. From reading this book, I learned how Frederick turned a small family business that focused upon peptide hormones and their production, chemistry, research, and application within medicine into a global company that has its own manufacturing facilities across Europe, in South America, Israel, India, China, and in the USA. Frederick began this journey as a very young man, but what he managed to achieve was extraordinary. The company Ferring now identifies, develops, and markets innovative products in the fields of reproductive health, urology, gastroenterology, endocrinology, and orthopedics. The common focus of providing tailored treatments that work on the body's own terms enables doctors to combat numerous diseases and medical conditions. Ferring treatments are now available in 110 countries. Holding on to the original Ferring philosophy of respect for others and the value of the community, Frederick has involved philanthropic activities that reflect his interests in the environment, cultural preservation, and exchange. 15 years ago, Frederick visited us here in the university in our small office in Springfield. He came to Dundee because of our new exploration and research centre dealing with environmental issues on the sub-Antarctic island of South Georgia. He arrived in a black limousine, drank coffee out of a chipped mug, ate the Dundee cake I'd made specially for the occasion, and he listened. Then, as a result of his visit, the South Georgia Heritage Trust was established. Frederick was a fellow co-founder and a primary financial supporter of the Trust, which aims to preserve the natural and historical heritage of the South Atlantic Islands for future generations. The South Georgia Habitat Restoration Project, based here in Dundee, was a groundbreaking, globally important project which saved native birds from extinction and will increase by millions the numbers of endangered seabirds. There are many examples of how Frederick's contribution, combined with his philosophy, are making the world a better place. Frederick is responsible for the ACE expedition to measure and quantify the impact of environmental changes and pollution in the Southern Ocean. For the women in the mountain kingdom of Bhutan, Frederick opened the Royal Textile Academy so that the nation's traditional weavers could have training and marketing support. He has created a museum and a gallery on the island of Fohr in Germany, and he promotes and preserves the island's language, culture, and history. Frederick works beyond international boundaries. He works globally. He has led, supported, or developed many other initiatives across the world. He tries to assist where he sees an opportunity, irrespective of political boundaries. But most importantly, Frederick Paulson is a humanitarian who believes in respect for others and trusts in the power of working as a team. Frederick is an international figure, and yet he has this special relationship and commitment to Dundee, which has been unfaltering. Chancellor, I have the honour to invite you to confer upon Frederick Paulson the degree of Doctor of Laws.
By the authority of the Senate, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws. Would you like to address the order?
So, Professor Sir Pete Downes, Dundee University graduates, and distinguished guests. It's indeed a great honor for me to be invited to the University of Dundee, which is quite simply one of the most inspiring universities in the UK today. Many of you will know the question that the Sphinx asked Oedipus. What is the creature that walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs at noon, and 3 in the evening? According to the Greek legend, Oedipus had just killed his father. By answering the Sphinx, he would be able to enter the city of Thebes and marry Queen Jocasta without knowing that she was his mother. Well, killing one's mother, marrying one's father, well, perhaps this is not the best advice to start with today. However, I do like what lies behind this answer. We walk on 4 legs in childhood, we walk on 2 legs in adulthood, and we use a cane as our 3rd leg when we enter old age. It tells us that as we move through life, we change and we evolve. Like many of you, no doubt, I was fortunate to be born into a very supportive family. My family was a real bed of culture and humanity. My father was always round with a book in his hand. Although he was a scientist and a medical doctor, he understood history and he was a true citizen of the world. And of course, he was proud to impart his knowledge to his children. I'm thankful to him for everything he passed on to me. And you should be grateful to your parents for all they have given you as you walk through life on all fours, of course, symbolically. And I hope one day you will be able to do the same thing for your children. You should also be grateful to your schools and to this university. These institutions have helped you to stand on your own 2 feet and equipped you for the next stage of your life. You will now move forward in life without the support that has accompanied you through childhood, and your potential is vast. But do not imagine that a bed of roses awaits you. From my own experience into adult life, my first steps were very unsteady. After leaving university, I swore I would never work in our family business. I would never work for my father. Instead, I took my own first steps as a businessman to show that I could stand on my own feet. I moved to the US to launch a small company manufacturing hearing protection. It was nothing special. In reality, of course, I was the only candidate for this job. I set up myself in Reston, Virginia, which is outside Washington, D.C. I bought the machines. I recruited a team of 20 people. None of these people were American, but the atmosphere was very dynamic. And of course, it turned out to be a very successful company. I was very happy in America, but then suddenly my father called me back to Europe. He had decided he wanted to retire, and he gave me the choice either that he would sell the business or I should take it over. My older brother was supposed to take over it originally. He was a medical doctor, he was very gifted, but he had other ambitions. He had devoted his life to taking care of patients, to become a practicing physician. So it was left to me, the family maverick, to come back and head up the business. After having taken this decision, I devoted 20 years of my life to this. The company saw growth of double-digit and is now present all over the world. This was not something I ever wanted to do. But however, when we stand on our own 2 feet, we have to make decisions. We have to think clearly. Sine ira, sine studio, without emotion, without enthusiasm about what path to take. But once we have decided, we must pursue this path obsessively. And I think that's one of the key advices I would like to give you today. To finish, I want to return to the Sphinx, according to whom we all end up on 3 legs. The cane, of course, is symbolic. It means that we cannot hold on to the past. But it also means that we don't have to face the future unsupported. Indeed, to evolve, we may well need a cane to support us. In my case, I reinvented myself to become involved in several charitable initiatives, mainly in the Arctic and the Antarctic, which are now a major part of my life. I did this because alongside my private interest, I wanted to contribute to the common good. Naturally, at this stage of your life, you have more immediate priorities. However, it is essential that you also begin to reflect on what you can do to contribute to the common good. I began with some undesirable advice from Oedipus, but however, perhaps I can end by offering you something wiser about how you too can contribute to the common good by turning to Solon of Athens, one of the 7 sages of ancient Greece. Solon governed at the time of serious economic and social crisis at the beginning of the 6th century BC. One of his most important acts was to repeal the draconian laws that created debt slavery. He later became known among historians as the inventor of community spirit. But what does community spirit actually mean? To me, self-interest is the essential motivator of economic progress. Man is born with it. It's a part of human nature. Attempts to suppress self-interest have invariably led to economic collapse, if you just look at what happened in the communist regimes in the last century. But as Solon argued, if we focus only on self-interest, we deny the reality around us, the reality that we are all part of a community, and the economic and social well-being of that community affects us all. We therefore also have to support our communities through what Solon called eunomia, community spirit. Over the centuries, the balance between self-interest on one side and community spirit on the other side has constantly shifted. Today, though self-interest has overpowered community spirit and has once again become the main motivator for economic progress. Without community spirit, instead of looking to individuals to undertake philanthropic activity on behalf of society, we expect our governments to take more resources from individuals and to spend them on behalf of society. But can a bureaucracy focused on the lowest common denominator provide the necessary vision and, most importantly, the passion to take humanity to its greatest heights? I don't think so. Rather, I believe history has shown that community spirit is an individual virtue which benefits all mankind. That despite the current trend, it must remain the essential companion of self-interest that continues to deliver economic progress. And we cannot stand powerless before the loss of community spirit. It is everyone's responsibility to defend it. This is my sincere belief, and I'm happy and proud to be here today to share it with you. And let me wish you all the best for the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, we always save the best till the end. And so it's going to be our choir that finishes off this ceremony and sends us out into City Square with joy in our hearts. So over to you, choir. Thank you.
There's antimony, arsenic, aluminum, selenium, and hydrogen, and oxygen, and nitrogen, and rhenium, nickel, neodymium, neptunium, germanium, and iron, americium, ruthenium, uranium, europium, zirconium, lutetium, vanadium, and lithium, and dosium, and astatine, and radium, and gold, and protactinium, and indium, and gallium, and iodine, and thorium, and thulium, and thallium, and iodine, and thorium, and thulium, and tharium. There's yttrium, ytterbium, actinium, rubidium, and boron, gadolinium, niobium, iridium, strontium, and silicon, and silver, and samarium, isopropyl, and lithium, beryllium, and barium. There's holmium, and helium, and hafnium, and terbium, and phosphorus, and francium, and fluorine, and terbium, manganese, and mercury, molybdenum, and magnesium, dysprosium, and scandium, and cesium, and cesium, and lead-basonium, and platinum, and rhodium, palladium, promethium, potassium, polonium, and titanium, technetium, titanium, tellurium, and cadmium, and calcium, and chromium, and curium, and cadmium, and calcium, and chromium, and curium, and sulfur, californium, and fernium, and helium, and also mendelevium, and cynium, rubidium, and argon, kryptonium, radium, xenon, zinc, and rhodium, and thorium, and cobalt, copper, tungsten, tin, and sodium, lawrencium, and radium, and glassine, and ergodium. If there are any others, I'm afraid I haven't any.
Thank you, choir. Please be upstanding. I declare this academic ceremony closed.